Hello, guys. Happy New Year's Eve. All right, let's do a little bit of goal setting. So I'm going to chat for just a minute, give some folks time to hop on. Let's see, I probably could tag a few people. Let's tag a few people because that's always fun. So let me know what you guys are doing for Christmas, or not Christmas. Let me know what you're doing for New Year's Eve and what your big plans are for next year. Let me know what those big goals are. I'm actually not gonna start. I know so many people right now are starting with like reflecting on 2021 and then planning for 2022, but I'm actually gonna do it slightly differently. So let's see. I'm just kind of going through my list right now to see who all is on, who I can tag just to invite you guys in. Because what I'd love to do today is obviously a goal planning session. I would love to be able to give you guys feedback and support you as you are creating your plan and answer any questions along the way. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of use myself as an example so that you guys can start planning. So, hi, I see, let's see, Marin and Laura, you guys are both on. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Hello. Happy New Year's Eve. All right. So, for goal setting this next year, I want you to think big. What are your big goals? If you had it your way, what will you have accomplished when you are sitting here at this time next year? And it can be big things, like maybe you want to do a race or something. Maybe you want to reach some big milestone for yourself, whether it's weight loss, whether it's completing a race, completing a program, whatever. Big goals are great. But also, if you are like me and you don't really have any big things to be working for, that's okay too. In that case, and really in both cases, I want you to really ask yourself the question of how do you want to feel by the end of, by this time next year? So Laura, yeah, that's right. You want to walk across that stage in August at your goal weight. It's so exciting. And so for you, this is actually kind of an 8-month goal. So that's super exciting. So we're going to work through kind of the process that I usually take my clients through. So big questions for starters are, if you had it your way and you're sitting here at this time next year, what would you have accomplished? And how are you going to feel? This one's really, really important one to ask yourself because it kind of ensures that you are actually setting goals that you're aligned with, that you are excited about, and not goals that like other people have made you feel like you should have. Hello, health and fitness industry, always telling us that we need to be setting goals like doing this massive workout. Ugh, yuck, sorry. So how do you actually want to feel? Because for me, when I see like the goals that the health and fitness industry is encouraging people to set, it just kind of makes me want to puke. So that's just me though. If any of those goals are for you, like please don't feel judged. They're just not for me. I'm still here to support you guys in achieving your goals, so I'm not here to judge your goals. So as long as it is aligned for you and it makes you feel good thinking about it, and really like the process of achieving that goal will ultimately make you feel good. That's truly what matters. So we really want to make sure you are setting those goals though that you are aligned with, you're excited about, because it will get tough at some point. You will lose motivation at some point. That has nothing to do necessarily, not always, sometimes losing that motivation is because there is a misalignment with goals. But if you're starting off with aligned goals, that kind of avoids that problem. But it really helps you stay on track when you start losing that motivation, and when it feels hard, when you hit that point where you're like, I'm not making the progress I wanted to make. As long as you are still really aligned with those goals and you're still excited about what's going to happen for you as you are working towards them, then you're going to be good. So let's see, Miss Laura. My thing never wants to tap so I can actually read the comments. There we go. Okay. When the world opens up, you want to do walkathons across the world. Yes, 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 yes. I would love that too. That sounds awesome. I would love to actually travel around and do 5Ks, 10Ks, maybe even half marathons. I don't know. I still haven't reached that point yet. So we'll get there eventually. That was a big goal for me. 2020? And then kind of 21, I hesitantly set that goal of doing a half marathon, but that was really based and kind of dependent on what all happened. And so it was not the year for that. But yes, I love that. So hopefully the world will start opening up. And big one here, I love this, that you said feeling healthy and in the best shape of your life and being able to swim weekly. Awesome. All wonderful goals. I would definitely encourage you guys just to write that down too. I'm actually in the process right now. For those of you guys who haven't seen, I did announce the Accountability and Consistency Club is opening. It's going to be kind of the main service I'm offering in 2022. And it's really geared towards this, like keeping us on track. So I am in the process right now of creating those systems for that program that's going to really keep us on track. And that's something we'll be talking about today too, is like what to think about, what to plan for. And then, so if you do want the support, the Accountability and Consistency Club is going to be there for you in this next year. You can actually sign up for it now if you are interested. I've got 7 spots open, but this thing that we're doing here right now, I'm going to talk you through some stuff that you can think about as well. So start with your goals. What are those big goals? Write them down if you can. Write down how you're going to feel. And next big question is what needs to happen to get you there. So going back, if you don't have those, hi Donna, thank you. I love those hearts. They're the best. Thank you. Let me know what your goals are. I'm excited to hear. So, going back to that idea of like, if you don't have like a big goal that you're working towards, I know for me, it helps me to have that big goal because then I really do kind of stay more consistent and I track things a lot better, because I actually, have like a plan laid out that's getting me from A to B. But for this next year, it's really maintenance and consistency for me. Consistency is kind of like my word of the year. And so there's going to be a lot of intention and a lot of just consistent work done throughout the year, really focusing on that, like, how do I want to feel part. So if that's you, let me know. If you're really just aiming for consistency, kind of maintaining where you're at, slowly improving, but you don't have any major goals, and that's okay. It can sometimes, it can require you to be a little bit more intentional as you go through like a planning process, as well as you go through the year, to really keep on top of it and make sure you're checking back in periodically. So whether you are setting a big goal or whether you are setting small goals, just wanting to maintain things, you still need to know what needs to happen to get you there, especially thinking about how do you want to feel, right? What needs to happen to actually help you feel that way? Like there's so many different things that we could do, right? That would make you feel healthy and that would help you get into the best shape of your life. So what are the possibilities for you? And so I encourage you to just write it down. Just brain dump it. Don't judge any of it. Don't be like, oh no, I don't want to do that, or that one sounds dumb, that one sounds too hard. Don't judge any of it. Just literally give yourself a nice, like, big list of all the possible ways and things that you could do that will get you to that point. And then you're going to go through and you'll prioritize that, right? You'll decide like, okay, I'm not going to do that. That one's going to take too much time. That one's going to take too much effort. That one costs too much money, whatever. You'll get to go through and prioritize it. But it's really helpful to actually have this list and save that list for as you're going through the year, especially if you don't have those big goals, because then when you start kind of petering out, losing motivation, feeling like you're not prioritizing your self-care, you can go back and look at that list and be like, okay, which one of these actually speaks to me right now? I'm going to commit to doing that. And now I feel like I'm back on track. So that's a really fun tool that I always like to have. If it helps, because there really are. You could probably come up with like a million different things that you could do. I'm not exaggerating when I say a million. So it helps to break it down into those 4 pillars. I love my 4 pillars because it really does help just organize things. So those pillars are going to be movement, nourishment, energy/rest, and stress resilience/stress management. So of course, there's going to be overlap between those. There's going to be a huge variety of things you can do, but those are kind of the 4 pillars that I have noticed that people really need to support in order to actually feel like they're living a wholesome, healthy, happy, fit, healthy life. More healthy. So start with those 4 pillars and just fill in your little categories on those. On like, what do you like to do? What could you do that would get you to that goal? Now, before you go any further, so I'm just going to kind of run through all of this today because I don't want to keep you guys here for too long. But the big question you need to ask yourself before you plan anything else is, where have you already tried some of these this past year or ever? And why did it work or why did it not work for you? Because I don't want you to repeat the mistakes of the past. I want to make sure that you're learning from them so that you are not wasting more time and you're not putting yourself through any more traumatic experiences of like extreme dieting, extreme exercise, self-punishment, self-shame. We want to break those cycles. And so when you are looking at your list, I really want you to think about where any of those things you've tried them before. And I want you to really think about why they worked and why they didn't, what the experience was like. And take a little time to just learn the lessons from those past experiences, because I think that's probably one of the biggest areas where people struggle, especially when you are stuck in this yo-yo cycle, when you feel like you've tried everything and nothing has worked. It's because there are lessons in there that have not been learned yet. And a lot of times too, it's an issue of trying to like force yourself to change and force the program to work, or force you to work for the program, if that makes sense. Like you're trying to change yourself to adhere strictly to a program, as opposed to taking elements of a program or even just different strategies and actually being able to make them work for you and fit into your life. So the idea here is we're really trying to create a very customized and holistic plan that's going to get you to those goals that you are aligned with. Those are actually the first 2 steps for my signature method. They're so critical, and it's so challenging to really put those into practice sometimes because they go very much against what the health and fitness industry teaches. So if you need help with that, like if anything's coming up for you as you're watching this, or if it comes up for you later, come back in here and drop a comment for me so that we can actually like process this, learn the lesson that we need to learn, and figure out how we can make a customized holistic strategy that will actually work for you. Again, that is something that is a huge part of what we are doing in the Accountability and Consistency Club. So if you really need more one-on-one support with that, let me know, and that club is going to be golden. It's going to get you exactly where you want to go. So take that time to reflect and learn those lessons before you plan any more. It's just, I don't want you to go back and try to force yourself to do the same plan that you have done however many times, thinking that this time's going to be different because you're feeling so much more motivated, because the motivation will go away. Even if those goals are aligned for you, you're going to hit a snag, life happens. That's just part of the process. And so I want to make sure that you have gone through and figured out like where those obstacles usually happen. What are those recurring obstacles that keep happening for you? And how can we create the plan that's not only going to get you to your goals, but that's also going to help you to avoid those obstacles? So take that time. Take that time. I'm going to pause and think for a sec while you think about that. Let me know if anything comes to you. So the next step, and this is truly an ongoing process. It is a practice more than like a strict, like laying out a plan that you're now going to follow like a robot. That's not how it works really, unfortunately. But you can lay out a rough outline based on your goals. Yeah, you've got your big goal here. You've got point here. There we go. I'm in the screen now. You've got the point you want to get to, right? And you're right here. So like, how are we going to get you over here? That's your process for 2022, right? And then of course we want to break that into smaller chunks. So the big questions that I want you to ask yourself. First, how are you going to know that you're on track? How are we going to measure your progress, right? That's a big one. When you have a specific big goal, it's a little easier. You're like, I have to, I'm going to use the half marathon as an example because that's the big one for me, right? I need to get up to running 13.1 miles, right? Kilometers. Ugh, my brain's not working, guys. Sorry. Totally doesn't even matter right there. Okay, but I need to get up to running this certain amount. So in the amount of time it's going to take me, how many miles do I need to be able to run after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months? Like, how long is this training period going to be, right? Laura, for your example, you have your goal of reaching your goal weight by August, right? That's 8 months. So how do we break that down? Quarterly first. I always love breaking it into quarterly goals when you have a really big one like this. That way, you have kind of an estimated point where at the end of that quarter, you can be like, okay, checking in. Where am I at? Am I on track? Not on track? What needs to change, right? So how can you break that into goals? Is it in the next quarter, I need to have lost 10 pounds? I don't know. So break it into those chunks. Now, of course, there's a lot of leeway in this, right? Because part of the process of especially reaching health and fitness goals is we don't always know exactly how your body is going to react to the things that you're doing. And like weight loss, muscle gain, training for a marathon, whatever, those are not actually linear processes. So they're more cyclical processes, if that makes sense. So with weight loss, your body is going to go through a period where it may rapidly lose weight. And then it's going to have to go through a period where it needs to adjust to being at this new weight. And so you may not see weight loss for a little bit. And that's the time where you're shifting goals, shifting strategies so that you can honor that time, as opposed to, I think what happens to a lot of people and why so many people get stuck in that plateau period. It's because they're still trying to do the same thing they were doing when they were rapidly losing the weight. And their body's fighting them. Their body's saying, I need to self-regulate in this new spot. I need to figure out how to be at this new weight before you stress me out any further. And so it refuses to lose weight. They continue to try to stress their body by forcing it to lose weight. It doesn't work. It rebels. It turns into a big mess. So you want to be able to recognize those cycles for yourself. Same with training. If you are trying to reach a big training goal, you want to recognize those cycles of, this is going to be my period of strength gains. This is going to be my rest period. This is going to be my endurance period. This is going to be my strength gains. This is going to be my rest period, and so on and so forth. And then for all you women out there, let's just throw in that extra bonus of trying to figure out how to do this with your hormone cycles. That one's always fun. I will be doing more trainings on that one in the future because that's a big one. But so point being here, as you are trying to break down your goals, break it into those quarterly marks that you would like to hit that might help you know that you are on track, and then break those into monthly, like mile markers that will, again, help you know that you are on track. Make a list of these too, of possible other ways that you can measure your progress. If your goal is weight loss, don't just fixate on the weight loss number, right? What are some other ways that you're going to also know that you are still making progress? Is your energy improving? Are your clothes fitting differently? Are you sleeping better at night? Like, there's so many other options. So let me know if you need help brainstorming any of those. But that is especially important. Like if you do hit that plateau, because plateaus are going to happen, they're part of the process. It's just your body, figuring out how to be in this new position that you've put it in. And so sometimes you need to shift those measurables so that you're like, oh, okay, yes, measuring. Absolutely, Laura. Thank you. Measuring is great. That's like how clothes are fitting too, but you can totally do measurements as well. Those are useful. But so like if you are hitting like a plateau phase, right? Instead of then fixating on that weight number, you could then shift to being like, okay, how's my energy doing? How is my mood doing? How's my sleep doing? And I think those are the main three that I usually like to measure for plateaus. I'm trying to think. Yeah. And how's your body feeling too? Overall comfort levels. Because if you are noticing you're at really, really low energy, that's because your body's actually struggling to adjust to being in that new place. And so then there's some other strategies you can do, like drinking more water, improving the quality of your diet, getting a little more rest, incorporating some really gentle movement that helps your body heal quickly. Those are all strategies that could be really beneficial if you notice you're starting to hit that plateau phase, and that will still actually continue moving you forward. So I could probably talk about this all day. Sorry, guys. So if you want this deep level of support, please do join me in the Accountability and Consistency Club, because this is like what we're going to be talking about every single week in there. It's going to be amazing. But all right, let me have a sip real quick. So yes. Okay. Yeah. Let me know, guys, if anything comes up for you too. If you have any questions, if you want to share your goals, any thoughts that you're having on how you want to kind of break it down, what you're thinking for that. And while I absolutely encourage you guys to kind of, have your goal laid out or how you want to feel, right? If you don't have like a big goal, and then kind of break down the quarterly mile markers. And then you can break it into monthly mile markers if you would like. I wouldn't worry too much about the weekly stuff, because that's going to, like, you'll sit down at each month ideally and then kind of plan out your next month based on how it's going. So the big questions you want to be asking yourself right now as you're creating this plan are, how are you going to know that you're on track? What are the possible ways that you're going to be looking for and measuring, hopefully? Like Laura, if you're doing measurements and weigh-ins, those are great. You could even, one of the things that we're going to be doing in the Accountability and Consistency Club is a little daily check-in that gives you kind of a rating scale of 1 to 5, just to see like, how did the day go? So we can kind of measure and quantify that more subjective process of each day, and like, how did your day go? It's very subjective, right? But when we quantify it with a scale of 1 to 5, it helps us really track your progress. And then we'll also be doing like bi-weekly check-ins on those things, like how your body is feeling, how is your mood and energy, and how is your sleep? That way we can tell, like, oh, is your body adjusting really well to this, or is it starting to struggle? So we can kind of preeminently manage anything that comes up. So I definitely encourage you to implement something along those lines, so that you can actually know that you are on track. So obviously scheduling in some time every week and then every month to sit down and actually review, like, how did it go? How are you doing? Where are you struggling? What lessons, really, instead of focusing on struggle, right? What lessons can we learn, and how can we adjust the plan as we go? So that's the big, like, how to set those goals, break it down into your own custom plan, and then how do you actually achieve it? So it's literally, as I hate saying it's that simple, because when we put it into practice, it's never that simple, right? But that's what the Accountability and Consistency Club is for. That's what this group is for as well. Share those wins, share how you're doing, share any lessons you've learned, any questions you have along the way as well. But so when you are done, drop me a little comment and let me know, what is your goal for this year? And it's okay, again, if it's a big goal, great. And if it's more of a maintenance focused thing, that's fine too. Let me know how you want to feel when you are sitting here this time next year. And then let me know how you're going to get there. What are the things that you want to do that really actually excite you? Not the things that you think you should do. Ugh, don't do those. Those aren't fun. Do the things that excite you and that feel simple. So my rule of my 3E rule, I guess we'll call it, it needs to be easy, it needs to be enjoyable, and it should definitely be effective. So what is your easy, effective, and enjoyable outline for reaching your goal? And then how are you going to know you're on track? What are you going to put in place starting today that's going to keep you on track? And can you schedule that into your calendar now? Can you schedule at least in time to check in each week, each month, and so on? So let me know what you come up with, lovelies. I'm so excited for 2022. It's going to be a fun year for me, especially because I'm going to be really learning. Like I said, I have struggled in the past when I didn't have a big goal to be working towards. It's hard for me to really stay consistent, but consistency is going to be my word this year. And so this is going to be a really good learning year for me. And I'm excited to share what I come up with too for you guys, especially for anyone who really is just wanting to make some improvements, but overall just maintain better health and better energy for this year. So let me know how it's all going for you guys. If you have questions, please do let me know. Drop them in the comments. I will keep checking back. But for right now, that is all for today. And again, the Accountability and Consistency Club is open right now only to the first 7 ladies who join. Because like I said, I'm still kind of working out the kinks on this thing. It's going to be the focus of 2022. So I will open up enrollment as there are spots available. But I really want to create a very close-knit, supportive community in there where I'm able to be very hands-on and work individually and as a group with everyone so that we can actually set these goals for you, track them the way you need to, and make sure that you're actually achieving your goals. So you're welcome, Laura. Thank you. I hope you have a great day too. Have a wonderful New Year's. And yeah, if you guys are celebrating New Year's, let me know what you're doing. I am just staying home with my kids and we're going to wear funny glasses that light up. So I'll send you pictures. But yeah, if you guys are interested in joining the ACC, drop me a comment and I can send you info. So, and we can also just schedule a time to talk too if you would like to just learn more and see if it's even right for you. So that is it for now, guys. Have a beautiful New Year's and I will see you in 2022. Mwah! Bye, guys.